Hit it.
Welcome to Wrestle Heads, folks. I'm Chuck Jones.
And I'm Randy Dixon.
Our brother Amar had to be away on assignment this week.
So it is Mother's Day.
Yeah, so we are going to handle it ourselves. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. With all that being said, wrestling has had a lot of news and notes this week, and it has been an interesting week in wrestling. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in and just give you a quick review of the weekly shows, and then we'll talk news and notes. So starting off, Monday Night Raw, it was a pretty decent show. I mean, status quo as usual. There were a few keynotes that I thought really stood out as far as Monday Night Raw and everything like that. To be honest, I think the biggest note coming out of Raw is that Dean Ambrose was now added to the main event at WWE Payback. So now the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match will now be a fatal four-way contest instead of a three-way.
I think it's overkill, honestly. If anything, you should let him shine. You already got the champ Rollins, and then you got put Randy Orton fucking cupcake ass in there, and then now you finally put Roman Reigns in there for him to take his place where he should have been already, and then now you bringing Dean Ambrose in. I get it, he's a fan favorite, but I just don't agree with it. I'm thinking it's like sometimes it's too much for the situation, because it's like, okay, you just had a cage match at the last pay-per-view with them two. Now, if you want to add one more, that's cool, but now 4 people, come on now. I think it's too much.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I personally, if we're looking at it from a logical standpoint, I honestly believe that Dean Ambrose was inserted so that we can add extra insurance to know that Seth Rollins will still walk out champion. I think it's going to be something along those lines. And I'll tell you something else too. The match that got Dean Ambrose into the pay-per-view, the match between him and Seth Rollins, I loved it. It was an instant classic. I am really starting to see Dean Ambrose come more into his own, and he's wrestling a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, the boy just came around. I mean, Amar been singing his praises. I mean, shit.
He sure has.
I'm sitting here, I'm like, I remember that U.S. title run, and I'm like, yeah, I still hold that shit over his fucking head. I'm sorry. When you have a championship, even if it's a TV title, people that made their bones by performing at a high level when you have a title like that. And I'm sorry, he went to the shit out. But with this whole new style Roddy Piper kind of thing going, I mean, shit, it's working for him. And I mean, he got the crowd on his side because they was in Montreal, fucking Canada. So I mean, you got to give him credit for that. So.
The thing with that is, Dean Ambrose, I wasn't very high on him to begin with either, and a lot of it stemmed from the U.S. title reign or lack thereof. But we both understand the psychology of the situation, and at the time when he was holding the United States Championship, and I'm not going to give him a pass, but I will say this, when he was the champion, the focus was more about the Shield as a unit and less about Dean Ambrose being a champion. That's why he hardly defended it. That's why, it looked like shit. But that was still on him when he did defend it, not to come out. I'm telling you, that whole...
The matches were shit, man. They were shit. See, to play devil's advocate, like I normally like to do, you look at the tag team titles, right? They was going on a high fucking level. The fucking Roman Reigns, that people forgot that he can go, was going a high level. The fucking Seth Rollins, where people act like they just discovered him, even though the dude didn't have the money in the bank briefcase for so long, and people should have realized that he was already the chosen one, and it wasn't Roman Reigns. They was busting that, and it was just the anchor, the albatross, Dean Ambrose, looking like fucking straight hot shit out there.
Well, the one thing we can both agree on is ever since the Shield separated, man, Dean Ambrose, he has definitely stepped up. Because you remember I told you, as a matter of fact, I believe we mentioned it on one of these shows that I told you that motherfucker be bagging groceries this time since they fucking separated. I got to eat my words on that one. Dean Ambrose is definitely here to stay.
I think we all eating our words when it comes to Ambrose. And to me, this is one of the rare times when you have an elite unit where all 3 of them can rise. I'm thinking this is one of them times.
And something else too, and I gotta throw another shout out of maybe I was wrong. The New Day?
New Day?
they're really starting to grow on me now. I like the whole Freebird thing where they shuffle the titles between each other, but they're getting a lot of heat and they're starting to get victories. I mean, this week they actually completed a clean sweep. I mean, they won both shows.
Smackdown and Raw.
Yeah, they won both shows and they're entertaining. You know, like maybe they're starting to come around a little bit.
See, this is one of them rare occasions where the fans throw you fucking hot shit and they turn it into something. You know, with the whole booing and all that shit, and they owned it and they took it in.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And you know, I don't know what it's gonna hold for the New Day. I still believe in your theory that they're just placeholders for the Lucha Dragons, but with them getting this heat and everything, maybe they'll be sticking around after the Lucha Dragons do take the belts. Mm-hmm. And the Lucha Dragons, they look good this week too. I mean, they were dressed like the Rockers, you know, with their gear and everything. And there's a lot of superstars perpetrating past superstars. And we'll get into that a little bit later on in the show. But yeah, one of the main footnotes that you can take from Raw is Dean Ambrose did insert himself into the match now at the pay-per-view. And then also we finally got to see the long-awaited debut of Sami Zayn, which was also shortly, you know, messed up by a shoulder injury.
But see, it wasn't just that. It was the fucking WWE Hall of Famer. Was it 6-time champion? Probably more than that. The Hitman, Bret Hart, bringing him out there to the crowd.
One of the best professional wrestlers I ever saw.
Which the Canadian crowd, the Montreal crowd, they was already hot already. They was ready for something. Yeah. And then you could tell they were sitting there hoping. It was Zayn. And then when the name got called, it went prime time.
And you know, if he really did, the theory is that he injured his shoulder on the way to the ring during his entrance.
And you could see it when he was climbing up the stairs.
So I had to give him a lot of credit for still executing a fantastic match with John Cena, still being able to showcase himself, because it appears that he's going to be out for a little bit now?
He's going to be out for a few months.
Yeah, and that's a shame, because that guy really is good, and everyone had been waiting for him. You had seen everyone getting called up over him, and then it was finally his turn. And, you know, I hate to see shit like that, but nonetheless, when he gets back, hopefully it'll be better than Daniel Bryan's little comebacks and, you know, really make a name for himself on the main roster. We know what he can do as far as Ring of Honor and NXT and everything like that, but you also have to be able to show it on Monday Night Raw. You got to be on prime time. And, you know, we talk about these shows and how they're gaining traction and how they're gaining ground, but make no mistake about it, folks, Monday Night Raw is still the whole fucking show.
It's the flagship.
You have to be on Monday Night Raw to call yourself a success as a professional wrestler. And speaking of that, another footnote too, if you didn't get a chance to check out ESPN's E60, where they followed the uprise of 3 superstars, Corey Graves, you know, Xavier Woods, and Adam Rose, that was a pretty good documentary. It gave you a little background on each superstar. But I'll be the first one to tell you that for everything that I saw in those clips and everything, to me, the only one that panned out is Xavier Woods.
Well, I mean, if you look at Corey Graves, he had to retire because of the concussion thing.
Yeah.
But they found him a job, and he's not bad behind the table, because he usually do either the NXT shows or the pre-show for like
the events. Yeah, he does Raw pre-show.
And now he got his own little show, that Culture Shock, on the WWE Network. And big props for the WWE Network. They starting to expand their fucking shit. I mean, it's not just wrestling. It's like they starting to go out there. The only thing that I would suggest them to do is get them a wrestling show. It don't have to be Wrestle Heads, but get them a wrestling show where they talk about all...
They don't want us on their show because we're not PG. But I'll tell you what, if you really want to know about wrestling, this is a show to watch.
Put some asses in the seats.
We'll tell you exactly what you need to know and what you missed and what might be coming up and everything like that. But, you know, moving forward, then you have Smackdown, where they pretty much did the contract signing for the main event. And it was a, you know, the typical WWE contract signing. It ends in a skirmish and everything like that. But the point was made, and, you know, you got your contract signed for your main event. You know, SmackDown, to me, it was a pretty good show, but it was really just an extension of Raw. And I noticed that the WWE's been doing that a lot lately. Mm-hmm. Pretty much, if you see it on Raw in one facet or another, they put it right back on SmackDown the same week. So
I love the rise. Not to interrupt you. I love the rise of fucking King Barrett. I mean, he's starting to rise, and I'm like, put a title on this man. I'm like, the dude been having the goods. Me and this dude been going back and forth. You know, Amar had his little words in there too. But I'm like, this dude got it. He can talk. He can wrestle. I'm like, you put him in there, Dolph Ziggler, gold. You put him in there with Neville, gold. I mean, what the fuck else do he have to do? I mean, thank you for giving him the King of the Ring title. But I'm like, now you got to put ball behind your words.
Well, I think too, the Intercontinental title is just being wasted right now. I mean, and we're gonna get, and honestly, we're gonna get into this when we start talking about TNA, where they had enough guts to say Jeff Hardy got hurt. We're taking the belts back because we need him on the show. Maybe the WWE should do that with Daniel Bryan. I mean, stay consistent with what you were talking about in the first place. You use that shit as a stipulation to get the top title off of him back when he got hurt. Now, and that was just whatever. Now, they need to do it again with the Intercontinental title. There's a lot of wrestlers out there that could use that Intercontinental title and they can showcase it. I mean, and you can use UFC rules if you want. Hey, when he comes back, he gets a title shot. But as for right now, we need the Intercontinental belt back on TV while Daniel Bryan recuperates.
It's sad. I mean, I said it from the jump. I knew this was going to be a fucking train wreck, putting the title on him. And, you know, not to toot my own horn, but toot. It was a train wreck. It got off the ground horribly when it got started. I'm like, how can you put somebody injury prone in there in the ladder match? It started from there. And then you had him go against Sheamus. Bam! One of the most unsafe motherfuckers in the business. Other than Ride Bitch.
Oh man.
Yeah. That dude's just a waste of space.
You know, and I hate that. I really hate the fact that, you know, we sit up here and it's like every time we see Ryback, you just feel like this dark cloud is over you. It's almost as dark a cloud as when you see Sheamus. And you just get tired of it because it's like, okay, you guys are going to rough everyone up. You're not going to take anyone else's moves. But we're supposed to believe you as this tough guy. I mean, it's whatever. Moving on to a more positive note, women, which always make me happy. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm really loving that turn of Naomi. I'm loving the poetic justice braids, the dominatrix look. She looks like the dominatrix from Def Jam's How to Be a Player. Shout out to Bill Bellamy. And, you know, and we got the return of Tamina, which is another one who I felt is eligible, qualified, ready to go for the WWE Divas Championship. I like the fact that they put them together. And, man, they're fucking putting the Bellas on their back.
What they need to do, and I've been saying this, and he don't like the idea, you make Naomi the centerpiece of a group. You got Tamina, who's the badass muscle. Then you bring somebody like Cameron to bring the heat, knowing you're not a fan of Cameron, but bring the heat. And then you bring fucking Alicia Fox as the fucking backup, as the extra wrestling. You give him a 4-woman's group. See, and you make Naomi the centerpiece, the champ, and then you go from there. It will work. It will keep heat on her, you know, because they need her. She needs to be the bad guy now. You know, I don't know what they're going to do with the Bellas. Eventually, Ric Flair's daughter's going to come, Charlotte. She's going to be a face. The only face I see down there, the only heel I see down there is that boss bitch, Sasha Banks, who I immensely love. But now I notice down there in NXT, they're fucking switching up Emma. Now, Emma's starting to be a heel because she been fucking kicking Bayley's ass down there, who's a nice little hugger. But, yeah, she was suplex. See, people don't talk about that. That little bitch down there in NXT, she take bitches to Suplex City.
Well, see, here's the thing with that. I don't mind the idea of Alicia Fox joining the group because I know what Alicia Fox has and I know what Alicia Fox can do. She's a former Divas champion and she should touch that gold or silver or whatever you want to call it. She should touch it again, you know, before her career is over. But, yeah, I'm sorry, Randy. I have to totally disagree. Cameron's good for the Total Divas show, not good for professional wrestling. I mean, I don't know how much more training or much more input that you can give this girl. She just doesn't have it. And I mean, JoJo didn't have it either. They gave her a microphone, told her to start announcing.
She's cute.
I'm sure they could find something for Cameron to do.
Cameron can do it.
Professional wrestling is
She can do it. Every female is not that damn great. You gotta have some lemons. I'm sorry, you have to. It's just how it goes. That's your jobbers. Everybody ain't that great. Somebody gotta take a fall, man.
Okay.
So that's why I said, and if you put her in that group, she will bring the fucking heat. eventually, motherfuckers gonna start cheering Naomi again. They're gonna cheer Tamina. Shit, you see, Alicia Fox was going crazy, and she was over.
She was over. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Because people gonna fucking always gravitate towards ability.
Ability is where it's at. I mean, it's always gonna it's always gonna be an A+ in my book. I'll tell you that straight up. You know, when a person, whether they're heel or face, when they're good and you know they're good for the belt, I mean, it's inevitable at that point. And speaking of that, you know, there was an Ascension sighting on Raw, and you know,
send them right to the shit house.
Well, you know, they went against Kidd, they went against Tyson Kidd, and they went against Cesaro. You know,
machine. That boy's a goddamn machine.
He's so damn good, and I'm gonna give them this much. They didn't do bad. They really didn't do too bad. They held their own in the match. They carried the match.
I told you what happened with them boys. Vince McMahon sandbagged the Ascension because it was no tag team, no tag team with their right mind would come here and talk about they as good as Demolition or good as the LOD or as good as these people. You would never say that. They set them up for failure.
But Randy, what didn't help them was going out and wrestling like shit.
Okay, it's
all
about positioning, man.
You're right.
It's all about positioning.
You're right.
Cause I mean, shit. You can see some people got it, some people don't. You think Vince McMahon is the motherfucker that tell you that Cesaro don't have it. Hey, he said it on that Stone Cold interview. He said it plain as fucking day. I don't think Cesaro has it.
And I don't know what the hell you're looking for because Cesaro, man, that guy can headline right now.
First off, he looks for strength. That's because you know why? Because he's not this big, bulky motherfucker. Vince McMahon like these big, like these ride bitch. Like ride bitch. Motherfucker can't pick up a goddamn fucking trash can, but look like he a strong man.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, every time I look at Cesaro, now he's got this move where he's rushing guys from turnbuckle to turnbuckle, just feeding them European uppercuts until they drop. I mean, every time you think he's done, his moveset is done, he comes out with something else, man. That's how fucking good this guy is.
They took the swing from him. Now they have him do a half-ass swing now. With the Tyson Kidd. They need to change that move. I don't like that move.
It's okay.
No,
I mean, it's different.
You could have gave him, Tyson Kidd being part of the Hart family, could have gave him a heart attack or something. Where you have Cesaro put him up, clothesline, quick clothesline, something like that. Like he used to do with D.H. Smith. We talk about him later. But on a quick note, to hit a little stick shift real quick to get into that Wednesday mode, I want to talk a little NXT real quick.
Okay.
Now, with that being said, the NXT, I don't know if their main event's going to be in jeopardy because Sami Zayn was supposed to go against Kevin Owens, a.k.a. Kevin Steen, for the NXT title. Now that Zayn got a bum shoulder.
Yeah, everyone's catching a shoulder injury now.
So we don't know what that. And plus, piggybacking off of that, now you got Hideo Itami, a.k.a. Kenta.
Yeah.
He's going to be out from 6 to 8 months with a shoulder surgery. Well, most likely he's going to have shoulder surgery if he's going to be out that long. Man. So it's like people's getting bum shoulders. This was like the week of injuries for people. And I don't know, is this because these two going to be down? This might be the rise of Finn Balor.
Could be. I mean, hey,
I think it's going. I think it's going that way.
He's capable.
Oh yeah. And speaking of NXT down there, Alex Riley had knee surgery this week. He's out. So it's like, okay, you got all these people out. Plus, not only that, NXT is still on the rise. They coming up for their pay-per-view on the 22nd of May. So look out for that. We're going to be talking more about that as closer and closer as it gets. But as we roll into Wednesday, let's talk some Lucha.
Lucha Underground. Another good show turned in. You have your favorites. You don't have your favorites.
I'm starting to like that kid in Helico. Gotta get tip Captain Amar again.
Yeah.
I'm like
Amar called in Helico. Yeah. He's damn good.
I'm like that kid. I wish they changed his name. I don't like that Angelico shit. But other than that kid can cook. I don't know about them essays they lost to. The crew.
Well, let me tell you. One of the wrestlers I know is from San Bernardino, California. He used to go by the name of Ricky Romero. His name is Carlos Castro, I think, out there. He's a really talented wrestler, and I had a chance to wrestle with him and be in the ring with him myself. And that guy's got the goods, and it was good to see him on TV. However, I don't know who the hell that is as his tag team partner. I don't know why they didn't bring Rocky Romero up to go with Ricky. And they would have had a much better match on Lucha Underground. But still, nonetheless, it's good to see him on TV.
Look like trash, bro.
Now, what I don't like to see, I don't like to see Hernandez being put in this
He's getting a nice little
spot.
push.
He's getting a hell of a push. He's getting shoved. And I just don't think he's worth all that. And I'm going to throw another shutout to motherfucking Cage again. Cage is a beast. That guy is worth every penny. In Lucha Underground, that guy shows you how to be a powerhouse with agility. I mean, it's the total package. I want to see more Cage on Lucha Underground broadcasting.
Okay. And the main event, when it came to the main event, and I'm saying it now because me and him was going back and forth, Alberto El Patron versus Johnny Mundo, aka Johnny Morrison, that was fucking match of the week. It had drama, it had the moves, it had everything. And Del Rio didn't even beat him with his damn finishing maneuver. He beat him with the third finishing maneuver, that little short super kick. Yeah. It was a damn good match. A damn good fucking match.
I mean,
Shouts out to both of them.
We were going back and forth about this because, in my opinion, the match of the week was Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins to get Dean Ambrose into the main event. But once Mundo and El Patron did that finishing spot, I had to call my match a close honorable mention and a close second. Yeah, Del Rio and Johnny Mundo, they
got chemistry.
They took it up to the next level, and it's frustrating to see them, having to wrestle on such a smaller scale, but they still brought it big time. Like it was just,
that could have been a match at WrestleMania. It was that good. And I mean, they was doing suicide dives. It was a couple of times I thought Johnny Morrison was gonna fuck up his knee.
Yeah.
That when he went over the top and slipped and hit the stairs and went backward, and then not only Del Rio fucking doing that damn near punch fucking flying out to his ass, and then they hit the back of the fucking wall. I'm like, damn.
They were going at it, and they were going at it hard.
I said, hey. I was just sitting there clapping. It was a damn good show. And that damn boss, fucking El Jefe, I'm man, as a damn authority figure, I love him.
That guy has the juice, man.
And he probably a fucking actor or something, and he's fucking pulling it off.
He's got the juice, man. I mean, if they didn't already have someone for the Dos Equis commercials, I would have recommended him.
So, as we talk about Lucha Underground, I made a list and I put it up.
Hold on. Before you bust out your list, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Lucha Underground also had the debut of Sean Daivari. He was drinking some kind of E&J brandy or whatever. He had a little run-in with Texaco or...
Tejano.
Yeah, whatever the fuck. Fake-ass Silver King. I'm not impressed by the guy. But, Daivari didn't even get to work a match. So I'm hoping that we can see Sean Daivari in the future going a little bit further. Now, give us the 10 ways to improve the Lucha Underground. They're on a great path.
This was my idea. I came up with this. I didn't even tell the other Wrestle Heads. I said, fuck it.
I don't know nothing about it.
I'm going to do it. I said, I'm going to put it up. Put it up today before the show. All right. Number 10. And this is just my opinion. Number 10. Have an elite unit running Lucha Underground a la Wyatt Family or The Shield. Put an elite group. I'm talking about elite ass kickers. A faction. And I'm sorry, that dude Cage could have to be in that. Just saying.
That guy's legit, dude. Number
9, more character development. And try to keep bringing in more talent. I'm like, the only thing I don't like is like, it's so fast paced, you don't have time to start vibing with the characters.
This is the one thing that I can say about that. It sucks that they only got 1 hour. If I could take an hour from TNA and give it to Lucha Underground, I would definitely do that. Because they do have a lot of influx of talent coming in.
That's on the list. Number 8, more Cage.
Oh yeah.
That kid got it.
I want to see him hold the Lucha Underground belt.
That guy's good. Amar sit here and he talk about his ex-tag team partner, fucking Sean Ricker, the big guy, bad gravy boat
Gravy Daddy. Father of gravy.
Yeah. He talk about him all the time. But I ain't seen shit from him. But this Cage kid, I done seen a lot.
We done seen him work.
Where I'm going out on a limb, I ain't see championship wrestling for Hollywood. Shout out to them. But I'm betting he was the fucking workhorse of the team.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that.
If he wasn't the workhorse,
he might not be a talker.
Because
I ain't seen him talk.
You don't need to talk.
But his ass getting it done in that damn ring.
Damn sure is.
Number 7, Prince Puma. Your Lucha Underground champion. He needs to stand alone.
Okay.
It's time to drop Conan, which I think they're leaning towards that.
It looks like Conan's going to do the turn.
Yeah, because the switch is going to happen.
Yeah.
Number 6.
I just hope it's not at the expense of giving the belt to Hernandez.
Yeah, that's the scary part. Number 6. Fire Vampiro's ass. He fucking sucks. Sorry.
That guy's horrible on the table.
I'm sorry.
I got no problem with that.
I'm sorry. He fucking sucks. Number 5. Better production with a little Titatron and better work on the people entrance music. I mean, you got to make shit more legit. Because to me, I'm only saying that shit because they have a live band right there. If you put an emphasis on music, your music got to be better. I'm sorry. If you're going to have a live band there playing Latin music and stuff like that, you got to have legit shit.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Number 4. Make a Lucha Underground women's title and feature more women. That's what I notice is lacking. Is the women. It's only 3 women I see. And only 2 of them is active. And the chick from Tough Enough, every time I see her, she got a cast or she got a bum leg. And then it's the sexy star chick who's always getting demolished by dudes most of the time.
Yeah, because they do have them Russell Cole.
Yeah. So, number 3, make Lucha Underground 2 hours. They earn that extra hour.
Man, let me tell you, dude, it is action packed from beginning
I
to
sit there and say, like, damn. Just like he said a minute ago, damn, if this was 2 hours, shit, maybe Impact would be better if it was only at 1 hour.
Maybe.
Probably not. But, hey, we can all dream. Number 2, make a Lucha Underground television title.
So because give them another
exactly.
title.
Because you sit there and think about it, it's like, okay, now it's all the emphasis on the title, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's no secondary title for, what about your Cage people like Cage and Helico?
You want them to have a mid-card
exactly.
title. I guess they figure they don't need it because they're only working on 1 hour's time right now. But if you move to 2 hours, you're going to need a mid-card title to headline that first hour.
But see, and not even that, so you don't have to always put your main title on the line. You can make the TV title, that can be the constant title that you have
on TV. Yeah.
And number 1, center the show around the Lucha Underground Championship. I want to see more emphasis on the title. Prince Puma, he's the fucking man. That title should be more of the centerpiece. Yes, it's better than TNA, but I want to see more of it.
Again, a lot of that goes into they got to expand their time.
See, and that's what I'm saying. It all comes back down to these things. I think they hit these 10 things, they damn sure gonna be the second fucking one. Well, I mean, other than the other one that we finna fucking segue into real fucking quick after this, but go ahead and say your opinion.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, Lucha Underground is proven to be a nice product, and the closed product and the closed area that they work around and stuff like that. I'm sure they got tons of talent that's waiting to get on the show and everything like that. If you were doing the first season as a trial run at 1 hour to see if it'll work, I don't know the ratings per se, but if anyone who likes wrestling and really truly appreciates the art, they're watching Lucha Underground. And Lucha Underground, the one thing that I really do like about it, I don't like all that backstage bullshit. I don't like all that shit on the mic. So, like, when they come out and they tell a story in the ring, that's something that I would definitely appreciate. And they do that. And they do a great job of it. And I want to see 2 hours of it. So hopefully they can make a deal with El Rey. Or you know what, honestly, they're so damn good, they may bump from El Rey and move up to a higher rated channel. I mean, you never know.
I don't know, because I wouldn't say that because I figured El Rey got interest in it. So it's like, to me, what El Rey have to do first, they got to get their shit HD.
Yeah.
So, because I have an HD TV and it looks a little grainy, Yeah. And it fucks up the whole viewing pleasure where I can go look at TNA and it's in HD. But with that being said, they work on them fucking things, they can get the second one. But speaking of an upstart, also on that Wednesday was the Global Force Wrestling announcement of their first 10 talent. First, they announced that, yes, they got a show come up. We already talked about it in June.
Yeah, it's going to be in Vegas.
Yes. But now, they started to put a roster together.
Yeah, now tell us more about this roster. Let me know what's going on.
Well, first, they got a color play-by-play. It's going to be Chael Sonnen from the UFC.
Wow.
From not only from the UFC, but, I mean, he got an illustrious career, and he did other things on sports.
He's a great talker, and he can sell water to a well.
Yeah.
I got no problem with him.
He's a wrestling fan.
Yeah, I got no problem with him.
Because, I mean, over the years, there's been talks between him and WWE, and I guess Jeff Jarrett pulling the pockets out, getting it done. Him and Bischoff and what's that? Herbie Sadler. This the thing about Jeff Jarrett.
So they're gonna have Bischoff on the table?
I don't think Bischoff gonna be involved in the company.
Okay.
Now, see this the thing I give Jeff Jarrett credit for. He's good at outsourcing shit, and he's good, and people like him enough where he's get backers. He get people to back his ass. I mean, that's how he got TNA started. He got fucking backers, and then you seen what happened when he pulled out. People start pulling out of TNA, and that's the thing about it. But with this being said, we got Chael Sonnen on the table, and then he start announcing the roster. They're just like a little slow. Of course, there's gonna be some major surprises. There's no way that he's gonna put the big name. I think AJ Styles is coming back because from how he's doing this shit, he's raiding the New Japan talent.
Okay.
That's from America. Now the first person he got was Davey Boy Smith or D.H. Smith, David Hart Smith,
whatever you want to call himself,
Davey Boy Smith Jr. And then he got his tag team partner Lance Hoyt, which they was over there hauling ass, kicking ass over in Japan.
Yeah.
Then you got the masterpiece, Chris Masters or Chris Mordesky. He calls himself the Adonis now.
Okay.
He's legit. He's signed there. Now they got Carl Anderson and God damn it, who the fuck was his tag team partner? Got Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. There we go.
Gallows now.
Luke
right?
Gallows, Dak Gallows.
That guy, know who he is.
From the Bullet Club.
The guy who made his fame on that match against The Undertaker on SmackDown.
So them two are signed.
Okay.
Now they got the Great Sonata, who they told you he went back to Japan. No, he just went and signed with Global Force Wrestling.
Okay.
So and then they got the females. They got Thea Trinidad, who used to be Rosita over in TNA.
Okay.
Nice, cute little thing.
She's small, yeah.
Because they did a special on her because her dad died in the Twin Towers.
Oh.
Was like one of the people that died in the towers.
Okay.
And then Leia Tapia, who's that? You always talked about her.
Leia Tapia?
The tall one that used to be in TNA. The uncoordinated one.
Lacey Von Erich?
No. Her name Von Erich. She Haku or one of them sons.
Okay.
Or Barbarian's daughter.
Yeah, Barbarian's daughter.
Not son.
So Jeff Jarrett pulled her too.
He pulled her too.
Okay.
And then, and the last but not least, Justin Gabriel, aka PJ Black, which is his real name, Paul Black, but he pulled him too, and he's been signed to Global Force Wrestling.
That's pretty good.
That's
a good way to get started.
You know.
And obviously, like you say, and I believe this too, the major stuff you're gonna have to tune in and see.
Yeah, because I mean, they gonna start selling tickets May 15th. You know, but they're gonna be having shows.
Does it say where it's gonna be at in Vegas?
It's gonna be at the Orleans Hotel, I believe.
That right.
Yeah, let's see. Let me read the notes. Yeah, at the Orleans Arena. I think that's in the hotel.
Yeah, so, they'll probably turn it into a wrestling situation.
You know, with that being said, shouts out to Jeff Jarrett. Because, hey, I was starting to question your shit. Was this shit even going to get off the damn ground?
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
But I'm glad it's moving forward. So, with that, we didn't cover that piece of business. Let's get into some TNA.
TNA show was all right. It was actually live for a change. Josh Matthews was actually sitting ringside for a change. Didn't look like he had a partner with him. I guess he's supposed to be the poor man's Vince Scully now, calling the show by himself, or whatever the case may be.
That has to be so fucking hard in something like wrestling.
Well, you ain't got nobody in the back probably telling you what to say because TNA has nobody in the back. They can't afford nobody.
Jesus Christ.
They couldn't afford a person to sit out there on the table with them right now. You know, and it's just like you were saying way back in our inaugural season of Wrestle Heads when they took Don West off the table. I'm pretty sure they might have tried to go to him and try to get him to go back, and he probably told them motherfuckers no.
I think Don West is done with that part of it. But with that being said, let's get into crap.
Okay, well the stuff that I can take from TNA this week, you know, number one, Eric Young, why the fuck are you dressing up like Bret Hart, dude? I don't appreciate that shit, and you couldn't wipe Bret Hart's ass, you couldn't drive his car, you couldn't lace his boots, you couldn't do shit, but we're going to speak more about that later. But it seemed like the show was pretty much centered around Eric Young and him trying to make an alliance with MVP and the Beatdown crew, and you know, one of the things I really wanted to point out here is the Rising, Drew McIntyre's crew? Okay, first of all, MVP said nigga on TV. That was rough.
N-word.
Yeah. So that was rough. And then he had a match with Drew McIntyre, which was textbook, beat the shit out of him the whole match. And then McIntyre pulls a rabbit out the hat, beats him at the end. But the one thing that I took from the match that I didn't like, I can't tell you that the Rising's a real legitimate crew. Because when MVP was out there beating Drew McIntyre's ass like nobody's business, he was loking up on Haku's son and the Big Gravy Wicker and those punk ass motherfuckers, they didn't even want none. They didn't want none of MVP by himself. I mean, like, whoever's teaching them psychology for a faction, they're failing. Because if MVP lokes up, you should have hit him right in his mouth, Haku's son. You should know better.
Or they should have stood why Drew Gallows is trying to recover, stood there as a wall to protect him and say, nah, you ain't gonna do this. Because, I mean, shit, even you got Kenny King and Caval, a.k.a. Low Key, they knew what to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
As a faction.
It looked like one man was pushing that whole group around out there. And I didn't like it. And Amar, I know when Amar gets back, he's going to speak up. But that Big Bag Gravy Wicker or whatever, I still ain't seen shit from him. Yeah. For all the hype, all the promotion, he didn't do a goddamn thing but run from MVP.
I don't get it. I'm not sold.
And then on top of that, later on in the match, now McIntyre pulls a rabbit out of the hat, hits a good double arm DDT like he always does.
It's called a future shot.
Whatever the fuck. Double arm DDT.
Future shot.
And he ends the match. He gets the 1, 2, 3. Eric Young comes out and demolishes that whole crew with a chair. By himself. He demolishes the whole crew with a chair. And the rest of the beatdown clan is sitting there going, oh, I guess we can beat the shit of what's left of them. You know, because obviously the story was...
Big Bad Gravy Daddy.
You know, obviously the story was... Eric Young lays them all out by himself. MVP, I'm doing you a favor. I got a title match against Kurt Angle tonight.
You got to watch my back. Later.
Yeah, something like that. Let me tell you something. I'm tired of Eric Young. I'm tired of that motherfucker. I'll say that shit and I'll keep on saying it. Now you want to dress like Bret Hart. You got some motherfucking nerve.
Okay, moving on. What else?
Okay, so what else is going on in TNA? You still got the little feud going on with Mr. Anderson and Ethan Carter III. You know, you got Brodus Clay, a.k.a. Tyrus, out there just being an accessory piece, getting his ass
EC3
went over all up and down the place. Bully Ray came back, and he featured himself as the referee, you know what I'm saying, in the main event, and we'll get to that in a minute.
TNA fans, do not get happy. It's a one-shot deal.
And if you knew Bubba Ray was coming, you knew his hoe was coming right behind him.
Jesus Christ.
Velvet Sky showed back up, did a little segment with Angelina Love or whatnot.
Took her out.
Yeah, and then you had the whole saga between the Dollhouse and Gail, Kim, and Karma, or excuse me,
the sad thing is,
Amazing Calm.
the Dollhouse chicks,
going at it.
The Dollhouse chicks, they cool to look at, but their ring.
They're not that good.
Yeah, Cameron better than them. I'm one of them saying it.
Jeez, you just really like to promote that bum bitch.
Yes.
But anyway, excuse me, I don't mean to talk about you like that. But nonetheless, you know, she's a bum.
Yeah.
Anyway, nonetheless, another big thing that happened, and this is tying into the whole injury storyline. You know, Jeff Hardy, as we told you, broke his leg doing some motorcycle shit. Well, at least they had enough sense to have them relinquish the tag team titles on the show. Matt Hardy came out, laid him down, you know, talking about he got to go home and think about some stuff. I'm sure he's got to sit home with chemo and think about the next future.
Well, you know, his wife finna have a baby, so
okay,
this might be it. For him,
might be a little while
for him to go hang at home because his retarded brother doing dumb shit like he normally do.
Well,
you know, it's like you figure.
I'm just happy they didn't take the tag team titles home with them.
Yeah, but I mean, you figure at the end of the day, like, okay, you got to do what's best for the business. But with that being said,
so it looks like Austin Aries and Robert Roode came out, and
then the Wolves came back, Eddie Edwards and
the Wolves. Guy. Yeah, the Wolves returned as a team also
because he was out.
Yeah, Davey Richards.
Yeah, Davey Richards.
And you know, so it looks like they're probably gonna lock it up for the TNA Tag Team Championships, and you know that's obviously gonna be a good match.
Then we fast forward to this bum ass main event.
Well,
I'm sorry.
One more thing before you get to the main event. The storyline between James Storm and Brutus Magnus, it escalated even further. You know, James Storm brought his his wife to the ring, and you know,
Magnus brought his fiance.
No, James Storm brought her. Brought Mickey James out there. Whatever.
That's Magnus.
That's why I say he brought the man's hoe out, or his wife. You know,
God.
Folks, you know what I'm talking about. So he brings Mickey James out to the ring, right? and he gives her this custom-made guitar with her name on it and stuff. And obviously, you can tell where this is going, And, Magnus comes out, doesn't want to be disrespected. Long story short, he ends up Jeff Jarretting fucking James Storm with the goddamn guitar. But the part that I didn't like, and this is just a little mental note for men out there all together, okay? When you see a storyline like this, you can apply it to real life, okay? Because Magnus is telling Mickie James, don't fuck with James Storm because he disrespects me. Now, she starts getting mad at him, she's fucking James Storm. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that. That's the storyline. I don't know what they're doing in real life. But the storyline is she going to end up going with James Storm. And men, this is just a little personal thing for you. If you have a quarrel with your woman about another man and she starts getting mad at you about it, she's fucking him. And you heard that from me. Take that as a life lesson. And don't sit there and sell yourself short. Now, getting back on the wrestling fucking thing,
The main event.
Sorry, but some people out there are blind, deaf, dumb, and they don't understand that shit. So I had to tell them, hey, you can look at Mickie James and you can watch the storyline play out. You mark my words, she's going to be coming to the ring with James Storm in about a month. Well, the way TNA does their tapings, maybe 3 months down the line. But
moving on to the main event.
So they have their TNA main event, right? The reigning, defending, undisputed TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Kurt Angle.
Who doesn't have it anymore?
Defends against Eric Young. It's a basic match. I didn't really see much that stood out. They had quite a few people try to come out and interfere or whatever.
Beat down, playing the Rising.
Whatever,
shit.
Some other motherfuckers. Chris Melendez came out there. Long story short, Eric Young tapped out. That's it.
The end.
So you can take your Bret Hart trunks off and don't ever wear those fucking trunks again because you'll never headline. Okay? So, long story short, that was TNA's show. Kurt Angle's still the champ. I don't know where Bobby Lashley is. And, I just hope they do a little bit better with their main storylines. But that was the weekend TV as far as the shows.
Here, let me move on to my news and notes.
Give me some news and notes.
Okay.
Because, that son of a bitch has something over running.
We got a couple of them.
He has the wings on the back of the truck.
I don't know what's been going on. News and notes. They got at house shows. You got Rusev losing the fucking You got Rusev losing the goddamn fucking Rye bitch.
What?
Consecutively.
Oh,
I don't know why. But we ain't got much time to talk about that shit, but it's fucking disgusting.
I'm sorry. Ryback couldn't wipe Rusev's ass.
I agree.
He couldn't carry his fucking bags to Sizzler. He couldn't do shit.
I agree. Then you got with the Bray Wyatt that ties that into. It's like they keep showing, like on Smackdown, where they might get the Wyatt family back together. They talking about putting Bray with Bo Dallas. Actually, they are real life fucking brothers, so it would make sense.
So and then, IRS, yes.
And then you get fucking Harper and Rowan back together. I think that shit will fucking work.
It would be a nice little.
Other news and notes. You got Chris Jericho, who could come back for 3 months, but doing house shows, doing his normal fucking thing.
Okay.
Other news and notes. You got the Animal Batista, most likely not going to return because his goddamn movie career is on a fucking rocket. Gibraltar is fucking skyrocketing. Goldust.
Take it easy.
Goldust is going to be out of action from 2 to 4 months. Shoulder problem.
Now let me ask you about Goldust. Now, do you think? Because he's already came back, showed at his advanced age that he can still put on a 5-star match. Do you think that this might be the end for him?
No. He said he's coming back. I believe him. And because it says it's 2 to 4 months, that's a short period of time. Now, if it was like 6 to 8 months, then I'd be like, I don't know. He might not be able to come back.
He better than Ryback.
But that's going to be a fucking short amount of time. So, with that being said, we already talked about Bully Ray coming back. Ric Flair podcast started this week. His first God damn it. The first person came on his fucking crew, on his show, was Kurt Angle.
Okay.
Other NXT news, U-Hot Nation, some of you independent people might know who he is. He fucking officially appeared on NXT and signed the contract. Kid got talent. Another fucking news and note. You got the TNA still trying to get the Young Bucks, even though they still signed to Ring of Honor. And you got GFW trying to get them. It's like a lot of people trying to get them.
So they're a hot free agent tag team.
They're a hot free agent tag team. Another news and notes. You got a couple of TNA things. One right here. TNA had to cancel the Chinese tour because the talent was pissed off. because they was not going to make a significant amount of money, and the morale's low there, where they still with a talent sending out failures to other ones, but then TNA put a block telling their talent like, hey, you can't go work for Jeff Jarrett, Global Force Wrestling. And on another thing that happened from this Friday's taping that just passed, where the fans start walking out on the shit. Yes, they started walking out after they filmed the main show. They started walking out on it. So hey, I don't know what's gonna happen, but with that being said, oh yeah, what we forgot, the new Tough Enough. The new Tough Enough is gonna start.
Okay.
Where Chris Jericho and Renee Young are gonna co-host. Then on the panel, you're gonna have Hulk Hogan, Daniel Bryan, and Paige.
Right, we touched on this a little bit last week.
To be on the panel, then you're gonna have Booker T, Lita, and Billy Gunn be the trainers.
Okay, I got no problem with that.
With that being said, we gotta just sit here, roll into the kitchen, bitch, because of time constraints. We got 5 minutes, so let's make it happen.
Well, my main thing is this. My kitchen bitch, obviously, is Eric Young. I'm going to just go ahead and be honest with you. You are not a main eventer. You are not a headliner. I don't ever expect to see you on WWE television. Monday Night Raw is way out of your range. I don't know. I don't know if he was paying tribute, and you know, he has a right to do so, you know, because he is on TV and stuff like that. I just don't like to see a wrestler that can't live up to the greatness of Bret the Hitman Hart, trying to wear his outfits and trying to wear his clothes and stuff. I mean, it'd be one thing if he was as good as Bret Hart or even close, but I remember how good the Hitman was and how he took care of business night in and night out. I just don't see that from Eric Young. And a lot of that, you know, I'm going to say a lot of that was due to TNA, the way they packaged them. They had him wearing lingeries and shit like that. He was a fucking dumbass for like fucking 4 years where he just didn't do shit, but some of the dumbest antics that you ever seen in the back. Nonetheless, my kitchen bitch this week is Eric Young. Don't give me them Vietnam vests and sweaters and shit and expect me to think you're a badass now. The one time that I did have nothing but respect for you was during the World Elite. Nothing more. Nothing more. Go ahead.
Okay, well I got a two-parter kitchen bitch. One, Bobby Backlund for going fucking straight heel at fucking Vern Gagne's funeral. Greg Gagne's up there giving a eulogy to his daddy, and then you got Bob Backlund go straight heel mode and doing a fucking heel promo at the goddamn funeral while he doing it. Goddamn Bobby. Goddamn Bobby B.
Oh, Bobby B.
Like, come on, man. You can't do that, then.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, that's a soft kitchen bitch, but, I mean, nonetheless. But the hard kitchen bitch, people might not like it. It's fucking Owen Hart's fucking widow. Martha Hart, I'm getting really, really tired of this lady.
What did she do?
It's like this. At first, she was for the WWE doing a fucking DVD about Owen Hart.
Yeah, I thought everything was gonna be good.
But then she come back and said, "Oh no, I don't want him to do a DVD because I just feel like the WWE trying to exploit Owen." Okay, let's get this straight.
Exploit?
Hold on, let's get this straight. One, I almost called her a B, but look, one, he died. We granted that it was sad. You made $20 fucking million off of that shit. Then they put him in the damn the Hart DVD. She got paid off of that shit. And then now it's like they just finished the lawsuit and you got paid off of that. And then now you're talking about doing another one. So after a while, when do it become about Owen Hart other than the fucking money? Because that's all it sounds like. It's fucking consistent in this shit. It's money, money, fucking money.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna just.
And she fucking up his way to end up fucking to be honored, to be put in the Hall of Fame. I mean, bitch, get over yourself.
He worked too goddamn hard not to be recognized and be mentioned on TV.
And his goddamn kids, they need to get a fucking heart. Like, okay, that's your daddy. He should be honored like your uncle is. I mean, like your granddaddy is. I'm like, come on now. She needs to get over herself.
He worked hard for those achievements, man. And he needs to go in the Hall of Fame.
He wanted to be fucking honored.
I don't know what it is, dude.
And shit, to fucking wrap up this goddamn show, quick thing Stone Cold said, expect him to be a part of WrestleMania 32. And shit, let's see. Mike Tenay's job is probably in jeopardy. They're probably going to fire his ass.
Shit, the whole company's in jeopardy.
Shit.
Might as well call Alex Trebek.
I mean, shit. Other than that, I mean, we pretty much summed up the week. And, you know, with that being said, you know.
Catch us next week.
Oh, yeah, one more thing, real quick before it's all over. Former at the tapings, D'Angelo Dinero was at the fucking tapings.
TNA?
Yeah. I don't think he's going to wrestle, but he's going to be behind the scenes probably.
Well, they can sure use
or
him on
a
the
fucking
table
announcer.
next to Josh.
He might be the next announcer. Yeah, put him on the fucking table. But wrap this shit up. We'll see you next week on fucking Wrestle Heads.
Shit's getting rougher.
It's fucking disgusting. I don't know.
We can't wait to get our brother back from assignment tomorrow,
Yeah.
because I know he's gonna have a lot to say about that Shawn Ricker shit.
I noticed that
but right now,
this show, a lot of motherfuckers be having assignments. Have you noticed that?
hey, we gotta do what we gotta do, man. We gotta keep things straight, like jalapeno peppers.
See you fucking next week.
Did you make it?